haircut. And so we're gonna give her a haircut. She's looking for a story to read. Probably something gruesome. Because that's what she likes.
No, actually. I actually think a good one, thank you. Am I the a-hole for not bringing anything to my friend's potluck after she told me not to? One of my close friends hosted dinner at her place last weekend. She called it a potluck. She sent a group text saying that we would each bring a little something, drink, snacks, whatever. It wasn't anything fancy, just casual. I asked her what I should bring and mentioned I'd be coming straight from work. I might be a little rushed. She replied that I didn't need to worry about it. She had plenty of food and just wanted me to come. So I didn't bring anything. I showed up, said hi to everyone, and honestly, the night was going fine. People brought stuff, salads, cupcakes, a couple of bottles of wine. I was planning to just help clean up or do the dishes since I didn't bring anything, and I figured she meant what she said. But later on, while people were complimenting the food, she made this offhanded comment like, well, not everyone's intimidated, but we're so glad she showed up. Everyone laughed and it did seem super serious, but I felt my face get hot. I didn't know how to respond. I stayed polite and tried not to act weird about it, but I felt uncomfortable the rest of the night. On the way home, I kept thinking about it. I get that maybe she was a little annoyed, but she literally told me not to bring anything, and now I feel like she put me on blast in front of everyone, in front of people for something I didn't even do wrong. I haven't said anything to her yet because it feels small, and I don't want to be dramatic, but I also can't shake the feeling that it wasn't fair. Am I the a-hole?
I don't think she's the a-hole. However, I don't know. It's just a real rule that you should just always bring something to somebody's house when you're invited. Not saying she did anything wrong if her friend told her that, but it's just, if she would have brought even a little something, it would have just kept her out of that anyway. And it doesn't take but like a few seconds to stop and get something, and I'd rather be late and bring something than not. But that's my opinion on it, or whatever that's worth.
Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive.
That's not the little funky. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my aunt, okay, they're related, after she kept pressuring me to marry her son? So wouldn't that be like her cousin or something?
Yeah, no. That's, no. You don't do that.
I
don't care how far away they are in the bloodline. No, you just don't. You just don't.
I, 24 female from Pakistan. Here, cousin. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's different. Okay.
Here, cousin marriages are common, and my aunt keeps pressuring me to marry her son, 25 male, since I was a teen. This started in my teen years. My aunt would start making jokes such as, you'd make a good daughter-in-law, or you and her son's name would make a good couple, etc. I used to brush it off back then and ignore it and such, hoping it would stop, but they never did. Instead, it started being more common. She started doing it every time we met, and I shut her down politely every time, saying I'm not interested and it won't ever happen. My mom knew how much it bothered me. She didn't want to disrespect her elders, so she kept quiet and only spoke about it in private when my aunt messaged her. Messages.
English is not your friend today.
When my aunt messaged her.
There we go.
My mom told me to keep quiet and ignore her, well, her sentences aren't the clearest, and ignore because she won't let it happen. English probably isn't her first language, I don't think. That or this was translated very poorly.
Yeah.
This was very uncomfortable. This whole thing gave my cousin some wrong ideas because he started messaging me in private saying things like, we're getting married in the future, so why aren't you talking to me now? I just ghosted and ignored his messages.
Aww.
Just a few years ago, I lost my temper at a family gathering after my aunt said, you're all grown up now. When are you going to marry him? Our decision is final. The strong feeling of ache and cringe just made me lash out. I yelled at my aunt, calling her stupid for not listening to me and understanding what no means. I used mild swear words as well, and it was a whole heated argument.
Ooh.
Well, she crashed out. To end the argument, my brother had to physically carry me out of the house, where I had a breakdown and we all just left her house. My mom was hurt by this a lot, and I could feel the pain in her voice whenever we spoke about this. She said she just wishes I handled it differently. After this came a series of unwanted toxicity and drama. My aunt yelled at my mom, making her look like a terrible person for letting this happen, and cut off all ties. She influenced mom's oldest sister and brother to do the same. My cousin got married to someone else, and we found out about it through someone else. He got married and divorced just later that year, and somehow my aunt managed to partially blame me and my mom for that, even though we played for that divorce, even though we played no part in it. My mom deals with her siblings often, and sometimes they drag her to dramas. I've seen her cry in her room alone because of this, and it makes me feel bad. I feel like I should have done better and done things differently for the sake of my mom. All this toxicity and drama would have been avoided if I did things different. Read some commenters. Not the a-hole at all. Your aunt has some weird delusion that if you say no 100 times, you're still going to marry him. You are your own person and deserve respect. No one should be telling you who to marry. Heck, no, you don't have to marry at all if you don't want to. Yeah. I don't think you were the a-hole.
Yeah.
I think your aunt is a crazy person.
Well, I think one thing to remember is it's a different culture. So that's kind of hard because I don't know that culture very much.
A comment said that women don't have any rights there.
But at the same point, okay, I am a fellow person pleaser. Tally gives me a hard time about that all the time, but I like to please people. So speaking from that and knowing what it's like to try to keep the peace for your mom's sake in family situations, you can only take so much and then you end up blowing up because even though you don't let anybody know it's bugging you, it just kind of builds up, and then you're just like this little time bomb and you blow up. And no, you are not the a-hole at all. But I do feel bad just because I know what it's like to be a daughter that, you know, your mom maybe pays for something that you might have lost control on. So I do feel for you. I wish you all the best of luck. Glad you stuck to your guns and didn't marry your cousin.
Am I the a-hole for not letting my mom stay at my house after she flew 4 hours to see me?
Is there any more to the story?
That's just the...
Okay, I need the rest of the story.
21 female, and my mother, 54 female, have a very strained relationship. I grew up being Mormon in the South, and she let my dad abuse my siblings and I ended up moving out when I was 14 to live with my grandma, and I went no contact with my mom. When I went to college, I went very far. I moved very far west and drove about 30 hours to get to said college. Around that time, my mom started to contact me. I did stay in contact with her because as I got older, I realized that she was too hurt by my dad, but she was still with him. I continued to be aware and never actually visited because I had my own life. When I got married, I didn't invite my mom, only a few of my brothers. She didn't seem to mind that much, and so I let her more into my life. My husband, 22 male, and I are having a baby soon. I ended up telling my mom this over the phone, and she congratulated me. A few weeks went by, and she was obsessed with the idea of me being a mom. It was weird. She kept bringing up my old religion and how this was going to connect us. A few weeks ago, my mom texted me to pick her up from the airport, and then she called me in a rage when I told her no. She asked me where she expects her to stay, and I said not my place because I didn't invite her and I didn't want her there. I'm not sure where she stayed. Not long after, I started texts from my sisters who were bashing me for building up a relationship with my mom, only to manipulate her. I feel bad because maybe it did seem like I just wanted her around. That was never my intention. I just wanted to be at peace in our relationship. I didn't care if it was still not the greatest. So, am I the a-hole for not wanting her around? Oh my nitty.
That's a tough one. I could see both ways being right. Like,
I could see the mom, like...
obviously I don't have that relationship with my mom. I have a great relationship with my mom. I have an amazing mom, period.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be an issue at all. I would be upset if she didn't stay with me, honestly. But,
I see, here's my thing. I think the mother knew that she wasn't a Mormon anymore.
yeah.
And so I think her mom just got a little too, like...
Maybe excited.
And sort of just, like, acted out in that excitement.
Yeah.
And then sort of, like, blamed her daughter for it. So I think
She was probably embarrassed.
Yeah, so I think kind of, like, both of them are, like, a little bit a-holes and a little bit not.
Yeah.
The sisters I'm mostly mad at because it's, like, she didn't mean to, like...
Yeah, but obviously that family communication was not something taught or...
It wasn't, like...
shared very well anyway, so...
It wasn't strong, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing there.
So it's understandable why they had so much of a communication issue in that area. I don't see where the trouble would have been just letting your mom stay there, but that's not... I haven't lived in her relationship and I haven't walked in her shoes, so I really can't say.
I
found one! Should be a headbanger with that area.
A-hole for calling my ex-wife's new boyfriend names in front of my kids.
Yes.
Yeah. Alright. 46 male.
Now we take it out.
46 male will make a long story short. My ex-wife, 40 female, left me 2 years ago for a next door neighbor. I found out they've been having an affair for about a year.
Keep going.
It's hard to read. Wait, I have hair on my face, Mom. We have about two kids.
2.5-ish if you know.
We have 2 kids together, 5-year-old female and an 8-year-old male. Unfortunately, the judge gave us split custody, though if I had my way, she and her boyfriend would never come near my kids again after what they did.
Well, did they hurt the kids, or is he just mad because they had an affair?
It doesn't say that.
Well, I'm just saying, if they didn't hurt the kids, it's just being rude and spiteful.
I wish they didn't have to grow up thinking that this kind of behavior was acceptable. Anyways, it's been a long, painful process. I'm in my wits' end with this divorce. Jiminy Chrysler, I can't speak. I'm trying to be the mature adult here, but every once in a while I'll have a slip up and call her and her boyfriend obscene names when referring to him. Sometimes, maybe when the kids are within earshot. I know it's not the most mature thing to do, but I can't see why I need to be respectful towards the man who stole my wife and broke up our family. The other day, my ex-wife left me a long voicemail telling me how sensible it is to call the guy, this guy names in front of our kids, and I guess it's on one of them repeating an insult to her. A friend wrote to me to back up my wife, claiming I was being unfair to my kids. Out of this entire story, how the hell am I how am I the one being the immature and unfair? I know I'm not perfect, but acting like I'm the monster in this story seems excessive.
Okay, so first of all, we don't know what that marriage was like, and I don't think that we can just make it out that the wife was all to blame, or the neighbor.
By the way, he wrote that. Sounds a little creepy.
He wrote that?
Mm-hmm.
The guy did?
Mm-hmm.
That it wasn't just their fault?
No, it was the ex-husband who wrote the story.
Well, I know it's the ex-husband that wrote the story, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we have his side of the story.
Maggie!
Multiple sides.
Maggie.
It's not helpful. Like, they've already got the divorce. They're already together. All he's doing is making that relationship more difficult for his children. And it's one of the things that everybody tells you. You don't do that. It is a no-no. Go ahead and talk to a friend and let it out. Be alone at night and let it out. Call them any name under the sun you want to, but not in front of your kids.
Or like when they're at like their house, you know, like when
Yeah.
you're home alone. Then sure, call them what you want.
Right, but not in front of your kids. You're just gonna cause problems. You're not showing them how to deal with conflict.
Be a therapist.
Possibly.
Okay, we'll be right back. It actually looks really nice. It's like
It does. Brad Mondo, right?
yeah.
He's awesome.
And it's still long enough for me to put in a ponytail, like,
Yeah.
or like a hair clip or something.
Yeah.
That still looks nice. So
Nice. Yeah. Bravo.
bye.